Hi everyone, today we are going to be starting a Christmas page. Well, we're going to be doing a whole Christmas page from Matchstick Mouse, a Christmas colouring book. Now I picked something that isn't really Christmassy because it feels a little bit early to me, but probably that's because I'm recording this in advance. So I'll show you the page I've chosen. It is this one, so it isn't massively Christmassy. We've got our pine cone and things and snow and our mouse, so it's not like loads of Christmassy stuff, so that's why I've picked it really. Just put some paper behind the page. Right, that's that one. And I'm using pencils that I haven't used in a video before. Now these are Yover. These are exactly the same as Kalour pencils, and I know quite a lot of people have the Kalour set. And I'm just going to take the lid off now. I don't use these very often because there are so many, and it's very difficult to handle them on my desk because there are so many pencils. There are 180, but I've got this swatch chart which you can get for free on my Ko-fi, and I'm going to stop the video now and just select out the trays of pencils that I think I'm going to need, because some of them I won't. I'm not going to be using every pencil, and then I shall be ready for you. Right, I am now organised, and I was sort of thinking what I really need with this set is a pencil case, and if I put them all in, it'll be so much easier to handle. The same way as I found with my Prismacolor, once I had a pencil case, because the box didn't really fit on my desk very well, I used them a lot more. I know I'm getting one pencil case for Christmas from my parents. I do have a use for that in mind, and it wasn't these pencils, so we'll see. But yeah, I will eventually get them and make life easier for myself. But let's start colouring. I'm going to do this pine cone first. I'm going to start off with a lighter colour. I'm going to use the coffee colour to start with, and this is, here it is, coffee number 10, and just do all of the pine cone in this colour. Now with these pencils you can layer up your colour, so it's quite good to do a light layer first sometimes and then put other colours on top. I don't always colour like that, it depends on the picture. There's a little tiny bit of his hand here, can you see? So you have to be careful of that. Now don't press too hard if you're using this method, because you need to put other colours on top, and so you don't want to have a thick layer on the bottom, or else that'll be it. You won't be able to get any more colours on top. Now this Amazon paper is fairly toothy, meaning it's quite bumpy and rough, so you can see when you put your pencil down there's still quite a bit of white paper showing. Now I find that to be an advantage, because it means that you can layer up more colours. Some people prefer a smoother paper, but I find smooth paper is very fussy with regards to which pencils work on it, and it's quite limiting. I find that with a really smooth paper, which Lulu Mayo and Millie Marotta have, I can only really use, I only find Chroma Flows work okay, and yeah, that's about it really. I struggle to get harder pencils to really work on that paper. When I try to smooth the colour out, they go, you can see all the lines, if you know what I mean. It just doesn't look particularly nice. I'm going to use a darker brown now. I've got quite a lot of darker browns. I think I am going to use the yeah, I'm going to use the umber grey if I can find it. There it is. Umber grey. And I'm going to do this sort of shadowy areas of our pine cone. So I'm thinking here under his hand, it's going to be a bit dark. Sorry, Matchstick Mouse is a girl. Matchstick Mouse is a witch, a mouse witch. Did you know? Maybe you did. I'm thinking where they're overlapping each other, it's going to be a bit darker. Sorry, I'm going a bit higgledy-piggledy, aren't I? So around here and here, there. Might get noisy in a minute. I've asked the family to put the washing on for me. Now, I don't really know what this bit is on the top here of our pine cone. I'm trying to think. Pine cone doesn't really look like that. I don't know if it's just to make it look a little bit more interesting, or whether it actually has some sort of purpose. I don't know. Anyway, so that's a sort of darker bits done, and hopefully it looks a little bit more three-dimensional now. I'm going to go back to my original coffee and extend some of these areas. So for example, this one down here, thinking it should look a bit more rounded, so if we put a bit more colour each side like that, also put some colour on top of the dark bit so that the colours all start mixing up together. I don't quite know what's going on there. I think there should be a bit there, but I can't draw that in. So now with the sky, as I'm doing this, I'll natter to you, you could put some colour in there. Now, not with the pencil very easily. You can colour on black with some pencils, but it doesn't really show up usually, particularly if they're transparent pencils. It's just not going to work. But you can use a pen. So you could use a Posca pen or something, maybe in purple or blue, if you wanted to change that sky colour from black. If you have the download version of this book, there is an ebook version, I think. I'm not sure if the backgrounds are white. I know that also if you have, I don't think it's in it, there's another Morgan O'Brien book called Merry Little Christmas, Matchstick Mouse, and I think some of the pictures are the same as the ones in here, and they're same-ish, they're a little bit different, but I don't think this one's in it, actually. I haven't got it, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so yes, you could do the background in, you know, purple, blue, that sort of thing. But if you're using a pen, you know, if you use a Posca pen, which I think you'd have to use all paint, it would be quite flat. You wouldn't necessarily be able to get any shading in it, but let's do this one. I think this is working okay. The thing we have now, problem, not really, challenge, maybe, even then, not really, is that Mrs. Matchstick Mouse is often brown. And we've just done a lot of brown. So we could colour her in grey instead, just so that she stands out a little bit from all the brown. But it will make the picture a little bit colder. Then what do with these ends? I might use a slightly lighter, warmer brown. I might just go for the brown. Just called brown. I think it's sharp enough. Just sort of go over it a bit. That isn't really how they look, but I don't really know what else to do with them. And I don't want them looking quite so pale. I'll actually take that down into that area that I kept lighter, because it is a lighter colour. Now I have snow in this picture. Snow is always a challenge to colour. I was going to do a snow colouring tutorial as part of my Advent pack. I tried it a few times and it was a disaster, so I didn't include it. So I'll have a think about that. Don't want to mess it up. Now we have this sort of greenery. Of course you don't have to colour it green, but to me it looks like some sort of pine, so I would do it in a really dark green. We do have a dark bluish green, but I covered it over because I didn't think I'd need it. There is a the dark green, the medium emerald green. That'll do. That'll do it. There we go. It needs a good sharpen. So despite the fact that I haven't used these that much in videos, some of them are quite blunt where I have used them. Emerald green. They are quite a good general purpose pencil, to be honest. They do layer, as you could see, and I know they can be quite cheap. Now these, I don't know where they were bought. They weren't, you can't get them on Amazon, or couldn't when I was gifted these. But I think you can with the Kalour ones, or I don't know. Sometimes they're from places like AliExpress and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm doing this quite dark and just blocking it in. I'm not sure whether it's such a good idea because it doesn't really show up against the black, but we can probably do something to maybe pick it out. We could put some frost or shine or something on there. Have a think if it needs it later. I think it looks better to my eye than it does on the camera page. We'll see. Oops, someone just had a really loud sneeze in the house. I don't think it was, probably couldn't pick it up on camera. I find it quite interesting that sometimes pictures that have got blacked out backgrounds, they're not always quite right. Sometimes a bit's been blacked out that I feel shouldn't be. Like there was just a bit of white there that I thought maybe that should have been black. You know, it's almost like, and here look, that bit, I feel like that bit should be black, but, or maybe that bit, but anyway, because they're a bit close together. I suppose those are quite close together, but it doesn't, it's okay. I should just cut it as it is. You can see these can go on quite thick and do quite a good job of burnishing down with quite little effort, which I think some people really like in a pencil. I'm pressing quite hard, but I'm aware that these pencils can take a hard pressure without breaking. The paper can too, and I've got to put the paper underneath to cushion it so it's not going to ruin the picture underneath, which I may have done. No, I haven't. Now I've already completed a version of this book, so if you want some inspiration for the other pages, have a little look at that. If you go onto my channel on a browser and search Matchstick Mouse Christmas Flip, you'll find it. Or if you just search Matchstick Mouse Christmas, you'll find all my videos, because I've got several. And there's also yes, this is available for free download, isn't it? That's right. Morgan O'Brien was advertised, not Morgan O'Brien. Yes, Morgan O'Brien, sorry, get it right. Doubt myself then. He was advertising it. Now I've done a bit of a boo-boo. I haven't left any pink colour for ears out. But I'm wondering whether I want to do them peach or whether I want to do them pink. I think the peaches are probably not, but I'm just going to have a look at my swatch chart. No, the pinks are really bright, apart from the Sakura. I think peach might be better. I think I'll go for that. So I'm going to grab the nude. Sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? Grabbing a nude. Here we go. Nude. And I'm going to do the areas that with a light layer. We're going to build up the colour like we did on the Pinecone. So well, it's quite dark on its own. My swatch chart is lighter. That seems light. I mustn't have pressed very hard. Of course, it's different paper. My swatch chart is copy paper. Makes a big difference now. Nose. Hands. I might make the nose black if I don't like. There's this little hand here, remember? And feet. This top of this foot here. and of course the tail. Now I often do worm in the same colour as Mouse's tail, but I don't think worm's in this picture. No, I haven't got any more critters in this picture. Sometimes there's beetle, sometimes there's worm, spider. Is that it? I think so. Okay, so we've got a basic layer. Now I'm going to go with the salmon pink, which is quite dark. So I'm going to have a gentle approach with this, and I'm going to do it in the areas where I think there will be shadow. So on our nose, the lower bit would be darker, I think, like that. Be a bit lighter up on there. With the hands, it's going to be, let's give this a sharpen. I don't know how well it does in this sharp. They do. Oh, perfect. That was just my Norris barrel sharpener. Oh, I can hear my husband starting the cooker. He's obviously going to be having some eggs for breakfast. Everyone's home today. It's Friday. At the moment on Fridays, I'm not sure if it's going to be the case after Christmas. Everyone's home. Because the boys, my husband only works Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday anyway, but the boys don't have classes on a Friday, so they're home. One of them's has a day off on a Friday, the other one doesn't. So I shall have to see if he needs any help later. But he's only just had his breakfast. Sometimes he likes me to proofread a few things for him. So if you see what I'm doing, I'm building up the colour in the areas where I think there will be shadow, and then leaving the rest paler. It's quite dark, so I'm going to sharpen my. Actually, I'm going to go over it in a lighter colour, the shallow orange. Now on my swatch chart it looks like I've spelt the word orange wrong, but I haven't because I copied it off the pencil. Okay, so shallow orange is quite pale. I'm actually going to go over all of it and just try and tone it and mix it a little bit. And it's okay to have a line between your colours in a way, but it looks a bit more like you've done some marker work, I think. But I'm trying to get a sort of spread it along and get a sort of nice transition from one to the other, and this is burnishing it nicely and mixing it up, so I'm happy with that. These are quite good pencils, you know. I haven't used them for ages. As I say, I haven't got room on my desk. I more often use the metallic ones because there's just half a tray full, so I can just cope with those on my desk. But as I say, it's quite, I find it quite tricky to manage so many. But I think I used to be better off, but I've got, my desk seems to be gaining things on it. A lamp, my lamp's got quite a big base on it. I have now moved off my, I've moved away my disk drives and things. I think the way to distinguish between Mouse and Pinecone is to make Mouse a more reddy brown. I think if I make Mouse grey, these sort of oranges, almost salmon, is going to look too much. I think if I make Mouse red, then not red, but you know, a reddish brown type colour, then I think it will balance it. So what I'm going to do is start with our ochre. Now an ochre you would expect to be yellowy brown, but this ochre is actually more like a sienna brown, a pale sienna brown. So I'll show you the barrel so you can see it's got a reddish colour in it, so I think it'll work. And what I'm going to do is put a light layer all over. Can you see how that is quite reddish all over Mouse, and then we'll see where to go with it. I've got to decide whether I'm going to go darker or lighter, really, because I could burnish this on the parts I want lighter with a lighter pencil, or I could go over the darker parts with the darker pencil, and I have to just decide what I'm going to do. The best thing to do is for me to put a layer down, a light layer, look at it, and then decide what to do. Now snow, I mentioned it earlier, there are different things you can do. You can just leave it white, that's an option. You can use some silver pen to go over some of the highlights. Say these lines you could go over in metallic silver or silver glitter pen. You could cover it all with glitter pen. You could use some stickles to make it all glittery. I'm going to go slightly darker now. Oh, doorbell. Oh, it was the postman. Not with anything for me though. Right, I had grabbed the... I was going to grab a colour. I haven't done it yet, had I? I was thinking the reddish brown. It's quite a dark colour. I think it might work. I'm going to give it a go. We'll find out. If it doesn't work, then, well, then it won't work. Now, with these parts of Mouse here and here, where we've got these lines, these are the bits that I'm going to start doing, but I'm going to try and make it look a bit furry. It takes a bit more effort. You don't have to. If you want to just keep it quite even, you can do that. And the black lines on here already give the impression of fur, so you don't need to worry too much. I just thought it would be fun to just draw some lines in. Yeah, it was a postman. He was very chattery, which was nice, because the parcel that came as my husband's meds, and they were supposed to come yesterday because they were 24-hour tracked, and they didn't get delivered. And I said to him, you know, we were a bit confused, and he was explaining that they have some agency workers and sometimes they don't do the full day or deliver all of it. And he said he didn't have it on his van, or else he'd have delivered it. And I said, I know, because I'd seen him and I could see he didn't have the right size of box in his hand, so I knew he didn't have them with him. So it was quite interesting. But he was trying not to be rude about the agency workers. But I guess they're short. I know they're very short-staffed at our post office, but at least we're getting a bit more post, because we were having occasions where we're only getting post a couple of times a week. And I saw him yesterday and today, so it feels like we are getting it a bit more often, which is nice. I mean, I know it doesn't matter too much, but I'd also was expecting something myself, but I don't know if it's even been dispatched yet, so we'll see when that arrives. Exciting. It's not something someone sent me to review. Now this bit here is a little bit darker, because we can see these lines in here, but I don't think it's furry, because I think as furry, I think it's part of the belly, which I tend to do, and the face a little bit lighter. I think we could grab a lighter colour. Let's go for the apricot yellow. It's a good name, isn't it? Which is actually a light brown. Now what's nice about this set is there's such a big collection of browns, which I like, and there are quite a few browns that are yellowy rather than red, and grey rather than reddish brown, so I really like that. I'm going to make these shorter fur. I don't know why, I just feel like the belly has shorter fur. And I've done it this yellowy colour, so you can see it's a bit different. I don't know if it looks a little bit odd or if it works, but I'm sticking with it. Yeah, my son came down with the washing, which was good. I'm going to do... I can't speak, didn't do the ears. We'll do those in a minute. I always forget the ears. Yeah, as we were chatting to the postman, my son came down with the washing, which was good. One of them's gone off to do some work and the other one's having a day off, so he went off to put the laundry on for me. That was nice. I'd asked them to do it because I said, I'm recording, can someone put the washing on please? They did. Now that bit is his little tooth, so make sure we don't colour that, but you can always go over it with a little bit of white pen if you accidentally colour it. I think that's fine. Right, ears. I think I'm going to use the darker colour, the reddish brown for the ears, but I just need to sharpen it. This is just my Staedtler Norris Club sharpener. So just a bit of fur. So some stripes. Now with fur, it does look better if you build up lots and lots of layers, but I don't really want mine to be much darker than this. And if I build up too many layers of the same colour, it will end up looking solid. So I think we're sort of okay. I'm just wondering whether to do that a bit darker, but then the whole point was it stayed reddish and not as dark as this, so maybe I'll leave it. We've got the hat. Now Mouse is wearing a slightly different hat to normal with a bobble on rather than she normally wears a hat like this. And this one's not only got a bobble, but it's got a line, like there's a band on it. And I did her hat red in that one, and this one's got fur like a Christmas hat and has this one, but this one hasn't. So I'm not sure. I think doing red is quite nice because it is Christmassy. This is a Christmas book after all. So I'm going to start with a pale red and build up colours just like I have for all the rest. So we'll start with the red. There's a colour just called red. There it is, which is a palish red. It's very blunt, we'll just sharpen it. There we go. Look at that point. Nice. And I'm just going to ignore the bobble. I might just leave it white. Ooh, what's that funny noise? It's a vibrating water pipe. Sometimes they do in this house. I don't know why. No, this isn't. This is quite a good red because it's not too pink, it's not too orange. It's just somewhere in the middle, a proper red called red. Great. I'm going to leave that hat band. I know what I'm going to do with that. Now this bit is dark. You can see because of the way it's been drawn, and also because it's sort of underneath. But we're still going to use this base red on it. But I'm just not pressing too hard. Now I think that's supposed to be the underside of the back of the hat. There we go. Now I want a really dark one to do this and this. So I might go for a maroon or a burgundy, something, I think, yeah, burgundy I've grabbed. Everything needs a sharpen today. Burgundy. And now here, although this is all marked with lines, I don't think it would all be equally dark. I feel that it would be slightly lighter as we come towards the edge of it. So I'm going to reduce the amount of burgundy I put down as I get towards there. Can you see? And then I'm going to go back to my red, and I'm just going to go over that edge and burnish that down with the lighter red. So hopefully we've got, yeah, a bit of a darker here to lighter here effect. I'm going to do a similar thing on the back here. So a bit darker here under the band, maybe a bit lighter there. I can't really work out why we can see that, but anyway. Now we want some shading on the hat itself, but I'm not going to use the burgundy because we've just used that. It's quite dark. So I'm going to choose a different darker red. I think I'll choose the scarlet. I hope it's not too pink, but I feel that it's darker but not as dark. Again, give it a sharpen. Scarlet. Now these are quite soft pencils, so they do need a lot of snap. A lot of sharpening if you want to get into some corners. You can see here that this is a darker colour, and I'm just going to fade it up here because I want this hat to get lighter as we get near the top, as if so we can think that the light is hitting the top of the hat. Because we've got no obvious light source, so I'm thinking it's night time. The light source is the moon, maybe from the sky. There we go. Maybe a bit of shadow underneath the bobble. So now I'm going back to the red again, and as we did with this one, I'm going to just sort of go over it and try to burnish it down into our paper so we can't see so much white, and then fade it up here. Now this bit up here I want to be quite light, so I'm not going to burnish it down quite so hard. I might be able to find a lighter colour to pop on there in a minute. So I'm going to do the same here, so over the top of this bit here where I've done it a bit darker, and then less up towards the top. It'd be quite dark here where the ear is. A bit lighter up here. Now, what should we use for that end? Now we could use a sort of orange or a pink. I don't really want to. I think I'm going to use the orange red. I think that might just work. We'll give it a go. It looks a bit lighter. Yeah. Without taking us too far away from the red colour. Sorry, I don't know if my hand was in your way then. There we go. So there's our hat. Smooth those reds out of the way. This little band, I thought we could, have I got enough colours? Yeah, we could do some gold just for fun. I'll just show you how to do a quick gold with these colours. We're going to start with, we'll start with the umber grey, which I just happen to have out because we've used it, so we can use it. We just need a dark brown. Now we're right on the edge of where we put dark brown here, so I think actually I'm just going to start here and just fade it really quickly, so put less layers and scumble it like that. Okay, now we need a lighter brown. I think I'm going to use the brown, which I happen to have here as well. I need to sharpen it a bit though, it's very blunt. So they get blunt quickly. I think I'll get through these. If I start using them a lot, I'll get through them quite quickly because they need a lot of sharpening. Although some people don't like sharp pencils, so if you prefer using a blunter pencil, then they might suit you, might last a long time. There we go. Now we need a sort of ochre-y colour. What have we got? Got an olive yellow, that's rather nice. This is, oh, I can't get it out. There we go. This almost looks like a green gold to me. It does look quite green. It'll work though. So go over everything here. Just extend that area up a little bit. And lastly, we need a sort of bright light colour. I'm going to use a cadmium yellow. I can't find it there. They will turn. None of them are turned, so I can see the name. Creamy yellow. canary yellow. There it is. It's got a really green end, look. But I think it's going to, it is quite greenish actually, but I think it will work with that green gold. We'll see. See how they layer on top of each other quite nicely. I'm going to leave a tiny bit of white just right on the tip. There we go. Doesn't look that vibrant, does it? I want something really bright on top. I'm going to use the canary yellow just to try and add some vibrancy. This looks a little bit dull. So here's our canary yellow. Hoping that's going to sit on top and brighten up a bit. Maybe not. Never mind. Now I'm wondering whether to make a yellow scarf. I've never done a yellow scarf before. I'm going to put down some of this canary yellow. I just think it will be really bright and vibrant and nice. Oh, I also think it might help that to stand out more, because I think my aim was to try and make it look quite pretty and stand out. I can hear my husband busy in the kitchen emptying the dishwasher. He has got the day off. But I always feel a bit guilty if someone's doing work in the house and I'm not helping. Right, I'm going back to my cadmium yellow. I'm going to see whether I can add in a bit of shadow under here where they're on top of each other. I don't know if it's going to show up enough. No. Oh. Maybe if I layer it up it will, actually. And in there, look. And here. To remind myself that he's not working today, so I shouldn't feel guilty about him doing stuff. I'm going to put a bit around the marks on the scarf. This is still the cadmium yellow, by the way. Now I'm tempted to keep these pom-poms and that pom-pom quite pale. What I'm going to do is grab the metallic silver and put a few touches in it. I'm not going to colour the whole things. Like this one has got some lines, so I'm just going to put my metallic silver over the top of those lines like that. Maybe just add a few more of my own. Like that. And this one we haven't got any, so I'm just going to add some. Might add lines actually, like that. Now we've got to do our snow. The snow that's falling in the sky, I am going to leave just how it is completely. I'm not going to do anything with it. I like the contrast white black. If I put a silver gel pen on, it's going to go darker. It's not what I want. Snow on the ground, however, I'm going to put a little bit of something on. And I thought that I might use, again, a bit of a metallic pencil, as we've got some in this set. And I'm going to use the metallic blue. And what I'm going to do is put it on really lightly and just emphasize some of these shadows, like here. And just a little bit. And same here where we've got this line. And I'm thinking maybe above these lines. Like that. And here. I've never done a metallic on snow, but I think that's okay. Now what we do have though is some snow that's falling on top of the snow on the ground. So it sort of makes me think that maybe I need to do these a slightly different colour. I think what I'm going to do is find a pen. Oh, Now this is my glitter pen, which has no gel in, it's just like a glitter glue. It's number 700. And I'm just going to use this on here. As I say, I'm sticking with what I said about not putting any colour on the back ones. I'm thinking maybe on these, I'll just go around the edge of them with a bit of the glitter. And I might do that on all the black lines here, not the ones around the edge, just the ones here, just to make it look a little bit icy. These lines here, I think, are indicating shadow, so I'm not going to go over those, just these ones that are sort of indicating like they're the top of a bit of snow type thing. There we are. Now you might not be able to see that very well. Don't know if the light's going to catch it. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, but there is our completed mouse. So hopefully that's starting to get you thinking about Christmas colouring. It's getting me thinking about it a little bit. I'm still not sure if I'm ready to just do all Christmas, but you know, just a little start, I think. So just to sum up, the Yover pencils are identical to the Kalour. If you don't have either, I don't think I've got any comparison charts because there's so many of them. It's quite difficult. But if you're desperate for one, let me know. Or if you just want to say, just let me know what the equivalent of X is in X set. I could just help you a little bit. Because doing one for all of 180 is a lot. But there we go. But I hope that was okay. I had fun. And yeah, it's making me feel a bit more like Christmas. Something else you could do just before I finish is there's no snow on the mouse, the pinecone, or the fir tree leaves. You could put some on with white pen if you wanted some little dots of snow. I think it will start to make it look hidden. It will be, you know, you won't be able to see the colour, so I've decided not to do that. As well as you could use your silver one to go around the edge of the pine cone to make it look like it's caught the frost, that sort of thing, and the plant if you want to, but I'm quite happy with it just as it is. I'm just giving you a few ideas, because of course if there was snow on here it would be inside, it would be on the edges. I think it would be quite hard to know exactly where to put it, so we'll just leave it. But thank you for watching today. I hope you have a lovely day and happy colouring.